Hey everybody, Alex Kazora, SteelersDepot.com, back with some Pittsburgh Steelers review and analysis of their second preseason game, their second preseason win, 16-15 over the Jacksonville Jaguars in Jacksonville on Saturday night. Let's talk about the highs and lows of the game. Starting at quarterback, and I think, again, the story here will be the Kenny Pickett show. The offense looking lackluster for a variety of reasons early on, and then Pickett running a beautiful, really flawless end-of-half 2-minute drill, going 4 or 5 for 63 yards, a touchdown, really through the first to Deontay Johnson. That gets negated on offsetting penalties, and then comes back the next play and fires to Benny Snell left side for an 11-yard touchdown. So that is really a true representation of how that 2-minute drill looks in Latrobe, and Pittsburgh certainly reps that nearly every other day in terms of being in that situation. About a minute and a half left, ball around your 40, one timeout. A very similar situation in Jacksonville Saturday night. It was about a minute left. They did have more timeouts, but on their 37, and so that is certainly practice applying to preseason action, and Pickett overall was really good, especially against the blitz. There were some free runners working there, and Pickett stood tall, hitting Freiermuth downfield. They're certainly getting Freiermuth in the tight ends, down the seam, down the middle, more vertically than they did last year, and that'll be good for Freiermuth's overall yards per catch and big play ability. So I thought Kenny Pickett leading that drive, showing the composure, the coolness, the calmness, and then doing well in the face of pressure. Really impressive overall, and I think he's very much going to be this number 2 quarterback on this team, on this depth chart come week 1 against the Bengals. Beyond that, for the offense, it's truly hard to evaluate a lot of those guys, even the quarterbacks to an extent. Mitch Trubisky was just running for his life the entire first half. The offensive line did not play well, and that's certainly one reason why a guy like Dan Moore Jr. was playing well into the third quarter this game. Kendrick Green, Kevin Dotson rotated throughout. They played basically the whole way through. And so those guys need reps, need to be evaluated, and need to be a whole lot better than what they were. I thought Pittsburgh really struggled with some of the line stunts and twists and games that Jacksonville was running. James Daniels had his issues, just passing stuff off. Pittsburgh certainly looked weak there overall, and the run game really was not much better, despite, last week it was better. The pass pro was shaky, but the run blocking was pretty solid. Nothing was solid for the Steelers offensive line in this game. The linebackers running free, guys getting off of blocks, just a total mess. Run game, pass protection. You got John LeGlue allowing pressure, which led to a Mason Rudolph intentional grounding, which was a safety. So just a mess through and through. I don't know really if you can add starters at this point, this late in the process, but I think Pittsburgh's going to look to explore adding at least 1, maybe 2 offensive linemen when it comes to the waiver wire and cut downs from it'll be 80 to 53 at that point, because I'm sure they're dissatisfied with the play of their offensive line. And again, that makes the running backs really difficult to evaluate. Benny Snell got the start. Jaylen Warren was second man in. Anthony McFarland played some of the second half, and so Warren running ahead of McFarland, a good sign for Warren's chances there. He caught the ball well. Benny Snell made a good special teams tackle overall. And so if you had to ask me where things sit today, I think it'll be the 3 running backs. Najee Harris, of course, he did not play in this game. Benny Snell and Jaylen Warren as that number 3. I think he'll be in that spot, provided he does not fumble and have the ball security issues. And really, Warren could get number 2 action in terms of being that next man up as a runner. We'll have to see, but I think those are the 3 running backs to make it as we sit here today. Receivers overall, Chase Claypool, big slot. He's going to be a threat vertically. Caught that slot fade. Nice to see him win a jump ball contested situation. Deontay Johnson did damage over the middle. Tyler Snead making plays in that game-winning drive there for Pittsburgh along the sideline. Snead on some boots and that 1-yard speed out for the actual go-ahead and eventual game-winning touchdown. So those guys making some plays overall. But again, it was a lot of boot game from Pittsburgh tonight, probably just trying to keep the quarterbacks clean, get the ball out quickly, things like that. So evaluation for those guys would be a bit tougher to do overall. Defensively better, certainly kept the score down. Overall run defense was not perfect, but better than what it was in week 1 against Seattle. Don't have a ton of notes just off the top in terms of their play. Good to see guys like Tyson Alualu out there. Larry Ogunjobi seemed to be pretty active against the run. And so, I'm just going to go through the all-22 and try to learn more about that front. DeMarvin Leal, he's been really close to getting to the quarterback both last week and then earlier in this Jacksonville game. Finally finished things late, and that I think after the Snead touchdown, or right around there, sometime in the fourth quarter, with a sack, a nice cross chop to a rip. Did celebrate that moment as Jackson was trying to get back to the huddle. So maybe a little rookie moment there for DeMarvin Leal. You can't celebrate in that moment because the offense is quickly getting back to the line of scrimmage, but certainly see some pass rush juice from DeMarvin Leal. The edge guy, Shenard Avery, I thought ran hard, played aggressively. I thought he lost contain a couple times, and I thought quarterback contain overall was an issue in this game. Beathard had a rushing touchdown. Lawrence was able to escape the pocket a couple times, so that's something to note. But Avery, to me, has the most explosiveness and probably pass rush ability in terms of his bull rush and power to be the number 3 outside linebacker on this team. Derek Tuska should be this number 4. To me, that's unchanged coming out of this game. Inside linebacker, Mark Robinson. Dude's a hitter. I mean, he had that big pop late in that game on that receiver coming across, and just, that guy flew back a good 3 yards. I thought Robinson's run fits overall were solid, and he made some plays. Buddy Johnson's a good tackler. He's pretty reliable, but he's just always very slow to actually making the play. He's just tackling the catch or tackling the runner, not making a lot of high-level impact plays overall. And I'll have to go through and watch more on Devin Bush. Robert Spillane did, I thought, decent tonight, and Miles Jack was his typical steady self. Secondary, Justin Lane did have an interception that jump-started the Steelers' comeback. There was a gimme that was forced pressure. I think Rondell Carter came free off the edge, and whoever the Jaguars quarterback was, I think E.J. Perry basically threw it right at Justin Lane, but still, Lane made the play, but he ran behind undrafted corner Chris Steele for the majority of that game, and that's a bad sign still for Justin Lane's chances. Levi Wallace seemed to do okay overall. I thought Akella Witherspoon has done well, had a nice summer. I'm not gotten a lot of talk about the summer and training camp and preseason action that Akella Witherspoon has had, but I think he's been really solid and hopefully can be this team's best cover corner. With Arthur Millette out, the nickel package was Witherspoon at left corner, Wallace right corner, and Cam Sutton in the slot. Beyond that, DeMonte Casey, active, very physical guy. Plays a lot bigger than his size. He's an impactful hitter, and that's always been the book on him since he came out of San Diego State. And so that's a guy that, I think Trey Norwood's still the 6DB right now, but can they work Casey in some 3 safety, big packages? That's possible, and he'll certainly be valuable depth overall. I thought Norwood struggled a lot more in this game than he did in week 1, where I thought he had a really good game against Seattle. The missed tackles were habitual, and he was not the only one. Justin Lane, Steiner had their issues as well, but Norwood's a guy that unless he can kind of come downhill and square up, he will miss a couple of those, so that's something to work on for Trey Norwood. Should backtrack momentarily and mention TJ Watt's sack, but they're just so routine at this point, they're almost forgettable, but he's one-on-one with the right tackle, and dude's going to win that matchup so much, so TJ Watt very much in regular season form. So that's about it in terms of the defense overall. Some improvements made, again, just working on quarterback contain, and I think the outside linebackers, water side, need to provide more of a pass rush there. Hopefully Alex Highsmith will get healthy. I don't know if he'll play in the finale next Sunday against Detroit, but he should be at least close to return and be good for week 1 against the Bengals. Presley Harvin, punting in this game, did fine. Had that safety kick that he had was the big talk of the day, 76 yards. So just tell him every punt's a safety kick going forward, I guess. Chris Boswell missing 53, kind of snuck an extra point in there, so maybe not his best outing overall, but certainly not concerned there. Nick Skiba did have a field goal sometime later in that game, so that's good for the rookie out of Wake Forest. So overall, probably fewer takeaways from this game. Certainly a lot of concern about the offensive line. Mobility of the quarterbacks will be paramount, so thank goodness those guys can run because they will be running quite a bit. But Kenny Pickett running that show so beautifully, really impressed with him, and he continues to build. So that's all good there. So that is my very quick recap and analysis of this game. We'll dive into the film throughout the week, I'm sure, to learn and have different thoughts and perspectives on things, but that's my initial takeaway as Pittsburgh goes to 2-0 on the preseason. They'll play their finale Sunday, the 28th, against the Detroit Lions. That'll be a home game at Acrisure Stadium. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Appreciate you guys watching. Please like this video, subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already, and we'll talk to you soon.